Welcome to Stimcast, the podcast about performance in esport. Welcome to this special MWO edition. This is like very much a passion project for me since we're usually doing League of Legends, Counter Strike, and stuff. But today we have one of the people who are considered one of the greats to ever do it in MWO, Proton. Welcome, dude.
What up? What up, everyone?
Yeah, glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I can say that one of the things that piqued my interest about when I started to, it's only been like 6 months since I really seriously got into getting good at the MWO, and what I always do is I try to imitate the people who are really good, and then innovate afterwards. And I started asking around, like, so who are the people to watch on Twitch and ask questions if you want to get good? And Proton was the name that like appeared first. And I started watching your stream, and like to me instantly it was like, okay, this guy's really good. And usually when people are really good, they make things look really easy, deceptively easy. But having studied people who are really good at stuff for a long time, you know that there's something behind it. And what I was really amazed about when I started asking you questions on stream was that you were really articulate about what you were doing and how to make things work. And I started applying that in my own game, and like things started to change rapidly. I was yeah, that was such a joy to do. And what I think maybe we could start the conversation with was someone in a stream recently. They asked you like, why do you play games, or why did you start to play MWO? And you said something to the effect of, some people just play the game to mess around, and what you actually enjoyed about the game was getting better. And you told an anecdote about you playing, I think it was volleyball or something, in high school or university, and what you found interesting about it was like getting better.
I mean, well, basically, all my life, like I was doing sports, and uh, like I don't know, it just got into my mind that playing sports means like putting yourself to maximize your performance to give something to the team, for your team or for yourself to win a game. This is what sports are, right? You dedicate yourself, you put uh, a lot of your power into it to win. And and I think this is the same for video gaming as well. Competitive video game, online games, shooters. This is what I get fun from. Nobody likes to losing, right? You like to win. Winning means getting better for me. I mean, that's might sound like a big words, but I mean, this isn't that how you are just getting just go through your life, real life. Because if you want to learn something, you are you want to get better at it, right?
Yeah.
You want to maximize the skills, so you want to be how do I say it? What's the word for that in English? Sorry, my English is sometimes it's really bad. I'm just like forgetting the words and such. But so you want to be so like some companies or employees, or how do I say that? They want to get you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you want to be
You need to be
headhunted.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be the best. Of course, like video gaming it's not something that's really important in your life, but I mean, and it wasn't. It's just I had free time
Mm.
that I could dedicate to the video gaming, and I basically was playing just on the only game. It was robots. The reason I got into robots because I was when I was young, when I was at school, I started to read BattleTech books, and it just blow my mind. The imagination, like the future giant robots, war between houses, and some politics in it, and all that just got me into BattleTech. And when I saw, and I was playing the old games as well,
Yeah, so
not
was I.
competitive though, because I mean I wasn't that much into the online gaming before, competitive especially. But when I saw MechWarrior Online getting on again, like getting released in a closed beta, without any thinking, I just put my mind into it. Just got myself a founder's pack, and I started playing, and I'm MWO life so far.
Yeah.
And like you can tell it that it was a good investment, not just because like I've won the tournaments and such. First of all, the biggest thing, I improved my English.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
was the first. That was the first thing, and the speaking to other people, the foreigners like Germans, Americans. That's just like any other nationalities. Like I spoke to a lot of people, and that just in I just came up with the conclusion that they are the same people. It doesn't mean the nationality or what. It's they are the same people, and that's cool because you can find uh, what to speak about with them too.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
you know what I mean. But
common
that's
ground.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, a lot of interesting personalities and a lot of people. Yeah, this is how I started my competitive life as well.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about what you said about like winning is getting good, like just like in your real life. One problem that I'm often dealing with. I do like esports performance consulting for teams, and usually we have problems with players that we work a lot with their mentality. So, for example, in your mind, it's a given that, well, if you want to win, you need to get good. You need to put in the practice. You actually need to lose. You need to realize that there are some areas of your game that's bad, and like be
Yeah,
humble about being told that. And I think there's a lot of people out there who who don't like to be told that they're bad and that they need to improve.
yeah, that's always gonna be like that. I mean, because like, I mean, there's people that are how do I say that? Casual players. I mean, if they're casual in game, doesn't mean they're casual in life, right?
Mm.
So you cannot really merge real life and compare in a video gaming life. But like when uh, people that don't like to be told, it, mm, how do I say that? Mm, it's kind of hard to explain for me, you know. I don't know. It's just like even because if the guy doesn't want to get if he just enjoys to play the game,
Mm.
he doesn't
Yeah.
want to get better. It's always gonna be like that. I mean, and it's just this is how it is. It's always gonna be like that, and that's why I said before that any games doesn't matter. Like if it's highly competitive game like CS:GO or Dota, they need casual players
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it's the play that's the player base that's the core player base as well.
Yeah.
But I think people just are missing the point that even playing casually you can still learn the game, you can still get better because it's the first of all it's the team based game, you're playing as a team,
Yeah.
and the more the if you play better you're investing into the team to win more at that point.
Yeah.
and and sometimes people just can't come into the game for lore and such,
For
and
fun.
they keep
Yeah.
it's for fun, yeah, and in especially with MWO they keep forgetting that's not the game that is based on lore.
No.
they took the just the visuals of it, the universe, planets, robots. That's it. Weapon systems, but the lore is just like somewhere deep there that is not really like invested. Like the PGI, it's not really invested in PvP. Just going in a quick play, building your robot, smashing the other team, in getting like C-bills, MCs for that, and buying new robots.
Yeah.
And people keep forgetting about that, and like they building lore builds that are not really working. And this is what like I think is kind of like it might be a problem of the game, but at the same time it's not, because like I said before, casual players, we need them
Yeah, for
in
sure.
the game. But they could just, like I said, they could just get better by just maybe put a little bit of thinking in the game and just put the lore side of it on the background sometimes.
We have S. Kenza in chat saying, just wanted to say, nice to see you, Proton, and I'm sorry can't. Oh, so this is my my second host, Casper. He's watching the stream right now. He's just saying that he wanted to be here beside me.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. What up? What up?
but yeah, I totally agree, and we can't expect everyone to have, just like in life, you can't expect everyone to have. Like I said before, it takes a really humble attitude towards yourself. You can't take yourself too seriously if you wanna improve, if you wanna get really good at something. And I think a lot of people are not like that in real life, and one of the things we're also working with esports athletes is like, okay, so you're really good at Counter-Strike, but how do you apply some of that, your ability to grind, or you're really good
Communicate. Yeah,
exactly.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Yes, you can be really good as a solo player. Like you can your personal skills, but if your communication skills suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for that word, but if your communication skill, even there's one person in a team, the perfect team cohesion is not impossible, but it's going to be really, 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 really hard to build. And like this is what it needs. Like there needs to be a like maybe a friendship between the teammates, an understanding, because your teammate, he's a player and he's a person, he's a man,
Yeah.
human, and there should be, and you need to consider him as your buddy, as a man. You are speaking to a live man, and if there's one, it's gonna be hard to. I mean, there's a lot of examples in the esports that the guy may be insane in like headshotting people or like doing some micro for StarCraft 2, but if he can't just make a connection with someone, he's not going that far.
I think a very good example of that is the a simple from the Navi CS:GO team. He's like by ranking considered to be the best player in the world in a lot of respects, but he's a very solo player and doesn't seem to be very good at communicating. And Navi has floundered a lot on the world rankings. They're always like 2, 3, 4, 5, like top 5, but even though they have in all respects the potential to go number 1, you have that, I think you have that syndrome of a solo player that's spectacularly good on his own, but not really meshing with the team.
Yeah, no.
And but of course, it's also one of the things that I've worked a lot with personally is thinking that there are like two schools of thinking when you want to get good. Either you should just stick to what you're good at and become really good at that, or you should work on as much as possible to become the most well-rounded player. And I personally like the being the most well-rounded because I don't know. For me, it's become I'm the archetypal mech dad. I'm 33, 35. I have two kids, like, and it's taken me a few years of my life to learn that the mentality that you're talking about, like sacrifice and pain, when you go through that, it means getting good. But it also requires that you put your ego aside. And I think the spectacular solo players are, I not, you can't generalize that 100%, but are people who, like, they stay in their comfort zone and get good, and sometimes their egos really show. I mean, you also see something like in football, people like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's also a spectacular solo player, but not always very good for the team.
Yeah.
And that's again what I like, the intersection between esports and life. I think that if people can learn the mentality of, because in esports a lot of people grind, they get used to the grind and just playing more and more games. I wish that more people would learn that in life is a grind as well. And if you want to get an education or get the job of your dreams or start a business or uh, get a girlfriend, get a boyfriend, whatever, it's a grind as well. You need to work on yourself and yeah, and get there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but like don't really merge both sides of your life, like video gaming life and real life. That's the biggest thing, because I mean, video games is not something that is really important for you. But like I said before, if you got time and if you want to dedicate yourself, just don't do. Always have to care about your real life too.
I think it's easy to get lost because, for example, in Denmark, just like I think it is in Korea, like being an esports like star or personality or streamer, YouTuber, whatever, it's actually becoming a viable way to live your life. And there are some people who throw themselves into this without having the, like you say, like, don't forget about your real life, don't forget to take an education, don't forget to develop your people skills so you can get a job if this actually
Yeah,
fails.
because the 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 the, um, the esports player, like esports champion or something, that's not gonna long. Like, yeah, you gotta start it early in your life, like reaching your 16, 18 years old,
Maybe even before, yeah.
and how long it's gonna. Just a few people make after that competitive life, like when they reach like 25, 30 years, just a few people then sticking up with like with that sphere of the of their life, like in the future, because like they are sticking with the team they played as the coaches or someone else or technicians,
Commentators, analysts. Yeah.
commentators. Yeah, that's not, and it's just a few people. So what are they doing? And they gotta, like, if you they gotta think about their what they're gonna do after that.
Yeah.
And there's like a good example. There's the guy, Korean StarCraft player called
Say that again, you dropped out.
Korean StarCraft player. His name is Polt.
Bolt Prime Wee.
Polt.
Yeah, I know him.
And yeah, and he studies. He cares about his real life, but he's also have time dedicating his time to StarCraft. And he just recently served in the army. He came back. He came back to StarCraft, and he wants to do championship. This is what I mean, that you gotta have a balance between video gaming and real life.
Yeah, for sure. Like getting that safety net. And luckily, in the country where I'm from, the esports community is growing right now from the bottom up. We're getting a lot of like non-profit organizations that are actually teaching kids, taking kids in and teaching them esports, and like um, instead of people in their basements drinking Coca-Cola and eating chips and getting good, they're actually exposing them to the social elements, to exercise, healthy
So
eating.
yeah, exactly. Because this is what it's great about the esports these days in our world, because it growing so much that it is really now considered as a regular professional sports, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can think, if you can think of it, uh, um, you have to have the physical training as well for, because mostly you're sitting, right? When you are playing video games, you're sitting, and this is really bad for your health, for body, and you need those exercises. You need to train your body so it can not not survive, but how did I say it? Just be able to, like, be healthy, keep your health on the good level when you're playing video games.
Yeah, it makes
If it makes sense, I
it makes
mean,
it. I'm a physical therapist, and that's kind of why I got into the whole health esports thing. And you're prolonging doing exercises on a daily basis prolongs your healthy life. So because you're sitting so much when you're actually playing, you need to mitigate that. I wouldn't say damage, but it's like there's more wear and tear when you're actually not doing anything. So it makes so much sense.
well, I would say that's just like a little piece of damage every time you're sitting more than just like 2 hours in front of your computer. You gotta do like exercises. I mean, of course, I am not doing it when I'm stream, but I do go to gym like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and also doing like I keep. I'm trying to always, so pretty much I sit only when I stream. All the other time, I do something. I mean, physical training, just walk outside, go out with my dog. She's actually here. So yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense. And what we were actually talking about on a previous podcast, if a lot of people like they think, oh man, I wish I could do like Proton, like do 3 times a week, go to the gym, get good, lift heavy stuff, run. And I think that people need to realize that every little extra thing that you're actually doing is something that helps. And starting small is okay. There's this big fallacy in on social media that, oh, I started training and I lost so and so many pounds and I now have a six pack and I'm so ripped and I'm eating healthy. And there's really no room to just slowly improve because people have this expectation that everything has to happen fast. Um, so my advice to you guys listening as a physical therapist is just start small. Start with a walk. Start by touching your toes in between matches. Like anything is better than nothing.
yeah, just little steps to make lead you up to a big boy.
Um,
Movement is life.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, one of the things I maybe wanted to get back to is communication. And because it's so important that you learn to communicate well with teammates and when you're doing like quick play and pugs in MWO to get the team cohesion to work. But I maybe wanted to touch on a similar point to communication that we're talking a lot about in Denmark, and that's trash talk. What's your thought about trash talk in game?
Trash talk in game, just a quick play, or in a competitive.
In a competitive match or just in quick? I mean, for me, it's kind of the same thing because it can be a tactic like, oh, now we're doing mind games with the competitors. But there's also you need to show a certain amount of respect and fair play towards your
Yeah, but
competitors.
for comp play, it's usually forbidden, right? Coaches, or how do I say that? Referees, they do not allow any trash talk in chat and such. because there's some personalities that take too much close to their heart, that trash talk, and
Yeah.
they start to answer it, and it's demoralizing yourself and demoralizing your team. Uh, I personally, I mean, I do sometimes do trash talks. I mean, that's just unavoidable because I played this game too much. A lot of people played this game too much, and when you see some dumb things saying, and like, you usually, like, I try to hold it in me, but like I'm like my mental capacity cannot hold that much sometimes. And of course you need to, you cannot hold it, you need to release it, and sometimes it just goes out. But I mean, I try to apologize, like, after or next day, to a person that I trash talked or like, insulted, if I feel like I was not right in that situation and such. I mean, um
But there are some people
that
who will not
that,
like recognize that they were in the wrong, and they just you
yeah,
goddamn potato.
there's some people, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I would say just it's better to ignore people, because unless, I mean, that's kind of hard to explain. And just sometimes, if there's some competitive players, right, that are really good at the game, but they do trash talk. But and I said, it's good to ignore people that, but sometimes just maybe try to listen, even through their like trash talk, through their insults and such. Try to listen. There's like a point of truth. I mean, when I was getting better at the game, I was getting trash talk too from people in quick play on my team as well. I mean, and like, if I would take close to my heart every single trash talk, I probably wouldn't play this game anymore.
No, that's true.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of, I mean, this is just like a basics of the life. I mean, if you're gonna listen to everyone else, everybody in the world, everybody like on the street saying like you're how just sometimes just listen a little bit of it, try to take the truth from it, but like just to filter the trash talk.
Yeah, yeah,
If there's some, of course, there's a lot of people that just trash talk just to trash talk, just like constantly throwing insults into. But if you're smart, you're gonna just filter it.
yeah.
If you just don't take it close, it's internet, it's video game. It's always gonna be like.
How about using it as like if you take the sport of MMA, for example, you take a personality like Conor McGregor, for example. He's an expert in playing mind games and using trash talk to get in your head. And actually, some say that he's even won the fight before it's actually begun. How about using trash talk as a tactic to win the game?
The, I mean, if you're doing it right, like you also have to think every step of your trash talk, right? So how to get into this guy mind? You cannot just only like just say whatever just came into your mind, right? And I think it's okay before the big matches to demoralize your opponent,
Yeah.
or but it also, just think of it, it also could work against you. Sometimes people that get angry, it doesn't mean they lose control of themselves. No, they actually start to think more, to analyze, to make a to adjust their strategy against you. You know, this could, like, the trash talk also could work against you. So
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what happened to Conor McGregor when he met what's that guy from Dagestan?
yeah,
The fucking beast. Yeah, but anyway, he savagely mauled him and put him in his place because he was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, you can talk, you can talk. Let's see what happens in the ring." And then he got smashed. um, but let's get back to specifically communication in teams, because I think the the thing I'm working on right now in MWO is I know that I'm not mechanically that good yet, but I'm really working on. It's an uphill battle on actually trying to get pugs to communicate, and usually I'm actually the only one who's doing the communication. But I see that the more I communicate, the more the win rate actually goes up when you're communicating with your team. But what are some key elements you think that's important when you're doing a comp game to like communication?
Um, a, a key thing. I mean, in the comp play, yeah. How do I say it? You have to like what we had in EMP. What we had is we had a buddy with us
Mm.
because we were having in the team we were having a groups of like 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults, depending on right. We had a buddy always. So what we did is we had lights that were giving us the general info, but were communicating with our body we gotta do what we want to do and how we're gonna do it to support each other. I mean, and this is what I kind of think is the core, is the main key for comp play. You need to build up the team cohesion, and you need to find your body. You need to find a specific roles for for every single one, every single teammate. This guy is piloting assault mechs, does well in assault mech. This guy likes the assault mechs, but he also plays light mechs really well, and he can be really useful in a light mech. So you gotta put him in a light mech. So that also means to talk to him, to communication with him, right? This is I think the key, the core of the communication in the complaint.
So doing a buddy system and getting those 2 people to communicate. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
so the best that always will support you, and he and you will support him.
Yeah. I should mention that sometimes we have a little bit of you drop out a bit. It seems like the connection is like bad for a few seconds. So at some point I might ask you to repeat what you're saying because we lose a little bit of what you're saying. Discord seems to buffer it pretty well, but sometimes it drops out. How about how do you build team cohesion?
That's a road. You gotta play with people in a quick play. You gotta play, like you have to invest a lot of time to play with them. This is how you build the first steps of like a perfect team. Not a perfect, but a really good team cohesion. I mean, I played with like EMP dudes. Well, first of all, I was in Lords, and we won the first engagement tournament. Cafe Angst, Heim, Salad, a lot of people, and I used to play with them. And we did a lot of did a lot of games in a quick play. We tried to play together, like thinking such, and yeah, this is how you build the team cohesion.
Yeah,
first steps of it. Gotta find people that you like playing with, that have the same mentality. That's winning is a key in the competitive. So you want to get better. You need to get better. Like this is how I got into this because I was playing with people like Cafe Angst. I mean, I'm not sure if you know him, but I think a lot of like old players know who Cafe Angst is.
Some of the names ring a bell.
Yeah, Cafe Angst, he was a really good player, one of the best in my opinion, even if not the best player, especially on like a pop turret mix, like back in the Highlander, Gauss PPC, AC20 PPC meta, and he like this. I learned from Cafe Angst a lot of things about pop tarting strategies and such. And this again, this is what I mean. You gotta find a buddy. Maybe that is same skill as you, maybe a little bit lower. But if you find a buddy that is better than you and is willing to play with you, and he's willing to improve too, even though he's like already like a high skill level. In your opinion, that's the uh, perfect situation, if I would say.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you build a good team, there's always going to be players that you can learn. Always going to be players. I mean, in the B, Riven, Twinkie, Heim, Delight, Zealot, Aura, all those players. I mean, all those guys. I can say my friends as well. I mean, we met in real life, even though lately we had like like we split up because of not gonna say drama. I don't really like that word, but like we split up. We split up.
Yeah.
I don't talk to them much, but I still consider them my friends because we went through a lot of tournaments, and I've learned a lot of players, a lot of things, positioning, building a mech, strategies, and I used it. I used that experience that I got when I was playing as in the Europe League with Black Spikes Mercenary unit. It's a Russian unit.
Yeah.
That is disbanded, unfortunately. The players from that unit still play though, but I still can. I will not forget when. I think it was the first. Oh no, it was the second time we played the tournament. We were fighting SGR, the strongest team back in that time, Steel Jaguar Gaming, and we actually took the first place in the. I can't remember what season that was, but that was really that's what was the investment from me into the team.
Yeah.
From what I've learned from Lords and EMB, is building up a team cohesion, because I was, I always wanted to get players into a specific role which they didn't like, or they're just not suited for that, and that's what was wrong. And when I realized it and I rebuild it, not just me, of course, that's the investment of the players in that team too, but first the first thing was building a communication with them. Once we did that, I've learned that those guys can do some incredible stuff in the game if you let them do it.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. I mean, we won the Run Hard or Die season against the SGR, just smashed them. I mean, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that must be a pretty satisfying.
Yeah, and this is what a lot of new teams are missing, and I think that's the main reason they they disband, because they're not building a communication. They think they have a team and they can just play and wreck anything, and the team cohesion will just build up itself. It's also you gotta, every single player invest into it. He needs to realize, sometimes drop his ego, sometimes just do what the drop commander wants. Sometimes, not always. And don't be afraid to put your thoughts or ideas on that strategy if you think like this is not going to work, or you can change it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe I think also one tendency we see, especially here in Denmark, is that we see a lot of CSGO teams forming, disbanding, forming and disbanding, and people not being willing to actually put in the time it takes to build that team cohesion and really build that really good team. In your opinion, how long do you think that in general it takes to build a good team? Let's say you have a reasonable skill base in the players.
Let me just answer that question with an answer. I mean, how long it takes for you to know people in real life and to consider them your buddies, your friends, like actual friends that you can trust, that you can talk to like every day, call them, whatever. Like, how long it takes, you think?
Now you're being sneaky. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't really put a time on that, but I mean, based on your experience, it might be able to see, well, I saw this team forming, and it took them 6 months. I saw this team; it took them a year. Da, da, da. And I know
Well, I
there's
could say it's definitely will take not less than at least like 7 8 months
yeah,
a year. I mean, you gotta know people, you gotta trust them,
yeah,
you gotta see how they react in this or that situation.
yeah, and I
In the video game and when communicating with each other, because what is really good, what is really, I mean, incredible with MWO, because there's teams, a lot of teams that have different nationalities.
yeah,
It means different thoughts, different mentality on like video game, real life, and because people not talking about video games of the time, right? They talk real life stuff, what's going on in the world. And sometimes you can have a confrontation between, and this is what it's not gonna like happen in few days of meeting this guy, just meeting this guy, right? Making, how do I say it? Just build a conversation where it is will be that you can understand each other, and you just, I mean, how do I say that? English is hard, very hard.
I think it's also a complicated subject or phenomenon. But I think what you're getting at is like when we meet new people, to start with, we don't really show our true selves, and it takes some time and some comfort to actually break that stuff down and actually um um what's it called, like to break down the barriers between people and start talking about, hey, maybe you have a difference of opinion in politics, or rearing children, or like something like that, and
Yeah,
you need
exactly.
to
That's, yeah, and people just have different like view, and just you gotta just tell your point of view on this thing, and that other guy tells his point of view, and you gotta analyze and accept it. You cannot just like say, "Oh, dude, like you're fucking wrong.
yeah,
Like this thing is not like it's not supposed to be like that." So, and of course, like this kind of communication, this kind of conversation will not, when people understand each other, when they can just speak about that freely, it's not just gonna get built in like 1 day, 2 days, week, months. It takes longer because you got to realize this is a human too. This is a real man, a human on the other side too. He has thoughts, he has opinions, he lives a life just like you do, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. I agree. What do you think about one of the things that we always do when we start working with a new team is like we said, we do like, it's not a legally binding contract, but it's like we make a document with the team and we say like, okay, so this is what we want for the team. It's kind of like a manifesto for the team. So it's like, okay, we agree that everyone is different, but we're all here for the same reason, right? We're here to get better, and anyone who wants to participate in this project has to agree with whatever you disagree on. You need to like work it out, um, just to make sure that before you really get going with the team, because everyone will hit that point of like disagreement at some point. Like even if you're the best of buddies, there will be some at some point where you will disagree. And I think it helps a lot of teams very much to be in agreement before they start. That you could always point back to the contract or the manifesto and say, "Hey, come on, we agreed to work shit out." Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's true.
this is like I don't know. This is like forcing people.
I like.
I think
Yeah,
I think just I think like this is just wrong. Yes, you just the main thing when you join a team, you're here for the same goal. Yes, But I mean, people just have views on just when you are making a team and you're building up or whatever for a specific match or your general strategy of your team. You gotta consider opinions of everybody else in your team, because one man is not gonna build a um, perfect. Let's say it again, like team cohesion. Again,
Yeah,
one man is it's impossible to do that. Everyone needs to invest
and that's
in
exactly my
this.
point. Is that I want all the people participating in the project to be aware that everyone needs to invest. It's and I know I don't get I get very unpopular sometimes because I actually to some degree like to force people into some things because I think there are some people or some things that people don't like to naturally do, and sometimes it's kind of like I'm not a big fan of the military, but once you've been through the military, you actually learn a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't have learned unless you were actually forced to do it for a while. And I kind of like that thinking that sometimes, for example, if there's a role that you know, okay, this guy he's very good at playing a light, but he doesn't, you know, he it's out of his comfort zone, so he doesn't do it. So I'm gonna force him to play a light for the next 10 matches and tell him like, okay, it's gonna be uncomfortable. You're probably gonna lose, but I guarantee you're gonna learn a lot. Now do this thing and let's
Yeah,
talk
it's like
afterwards.
the like in military. I think it's not the goal of the military is not to teach you how to shoot or how to kill. The goal of the military is how to make you and the other guys get along with each other, trust each other when it's time off the like when it's the situation where the mistakes or like you're not trusting your friend, your teammate, it will lead you, and it is kind of like that, but just kind of like that in a competitive play, but as not that not leading you to death, but it may lead you to lose
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then disband death of your unit.
Yeah.
Right? When people not get along with each other, and this is like I mean, and usually people this is what we had in EMP when we find that kind of person in our team that is demoralizing, that is just like making a team, just ruining a team cohesion, we immediately disband him, we immediately remove him from the team.
Yeah.
This is what we're happening in EMB and Black Spikes as well. I mean, because if like there's will be some people that will start do that, but they may realize that they were wrong and uh changing their attitude, or they will be always like that, and you got to remove them as ASAP.
Okay, so tell me, how would you handle a guy who's a spectacular player, but he's like in his communications very demoralizing for the team? What's your approach to, because of course the or in my mind the first course of action would be to, okay, let's try and fix the problem because like he's a spectacular player, we want him on the team. Like how do you approach that, because that's definitely something you see in other esports as well, in teams as well.
Well, you gotta like your team leaders first of all needs to talk, and you cannot go like, "Hey, shut the fuck up. Just do it. Just listen what we are doing. Just do that." No, you gotta talk to people like that, because they're not everyone like that is a bad guy. He just has his different views, and different views in the strategy, different views on the team cohesion and such, and like you need to get that from him, from the deeps of his mind, so he will start thinking, hey, I mean, this is kind of like I should not do that with my team, because we are all here, we're equal, because everybody needs to think that in the team everybody is equal.
Yeah.
Skill wise, I mean, and if somebody considers him higher than this guy, I mean, I'm better than you. You suck. That's not. That's not. It's not going to lead to good things at all.
No, and again, you're touching on like a mentality thing that I think the hallmark of a really good player is that humbleness about, because you can be like you can be the best player in the world. I think the best player in the world is one who is best but is very humble about it. Like, yeah, it's yeah, I'm pretty good, but I mean, there are probably some others who are better than me in specific places, and
Yeah, because I follow this thing all my. When you getting yourself high or higher, just think that if you fall, the higher you get, when you fall, the more it's gonna hurt. So I got to I got to the spot MWO I wanted to be. I needed to be where I have friends, I have people to talk with, the people that respect me, that people I respect, a lot of interesting guys in my stream as well, and I don't need it anywhere else. Like I don't need to fucking put them below me in the ranking system, or how do I say it? I mean, I considered everybody else equal. Not skill, but they're I mean, not just skill, but they're people as well. And when you never know, today this guy sucks, but watching you or somebody else tomorrow is gonna get better than you.
yeah, that's a good realization. Like thinking that there's always a bigger fish or someone who's better out there. It could also be a very good motivation to keep grinding. Like, you never know who's coming up, so you better get on the grind.
Never stop. Never stop. Just do what you do. What do you like? Like playing video games. Do it. Improve yourself. Don't forget about real life, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said before.
That's the big takeaway of this interview with Proton. Like, don't forget real life, guys. There is something besides quick play and faction play, which I'm like, man, the drama with PGI these days. I can't wait to see what's on Friday if they actually turn up for the stream and see what they're actually about to reveal.
The town hall.
Yeah, it's like the Russ talks to the community, which he was supposed to do on last Friday, but they delayed in the last second. The one thing is for sure that PGI is like masters of suspense. They've got people on the edge of their seats and angry and shaking their torches and pitchforks in the forums like, we want to know, what are you actually going to tell us? Is it going to be a disappointment? Is it going to be something great? I know I'm like I've started to gain some interest. I work a lot on the side, but I'm following the Twitter feeds and just to see what happens. Okay, but anyway,
about
what?
I'm kind of like skeptical. How do I say it?
Yeah, skeptical. Yeah,
like about like PGI updates and such. I mean, they failed my trust time. So I don't know. That's just like my opinion. I don't expect anything good in the future for MWO. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I am wrong though. Like I really hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of people when you read Reddit and stuff, you can actually there's a lot of people who share your opinion. Like they're like, if something good comes along, that's great, but we're expecting things to get worse and worse and worse. And I can just see in chat now that people are starting commenting on what PGI actually brings. What do you think is the most underdeveloped trait in NWO in I was about to say NWO players uh, right now?
Underdeveloped trade? What do you mean?
Like, what are people not really good at when you're watching comp play recently?
Not really good at. I think it's. I mean, the player base, the population got worse, right? So a lot of good players left the game. So there's a lot of newcomers, a lot of people that have played this game casually, and the worst thing is situational awareness and people not realizing what is happening and how to react to it. I mean, that's always was a problem, but just because this is a because the population has dropped down, it just became more of a common thing. I don't know how do I say that. It started to stick out, you know.
Yeah.
Just before the tip of it was covered with actually like good or really good or best players, or how do I say that? Just let's just say just the good players. Now a lot of good players in newcomers game. You need to give them time to game, and there's still casual players that are the like a core of MWO, right?
Yeah.
And this is why, like I said, it's just that problem just sticks out more now, in my opinion, of course.
So
Also, lack of tutorials on the official website and on YouTube, because people just like to bring entertaining content,
yeah, yeah.
but not the educational content.
I was actually thinking about like I don't have a lot of extra time because I'm running a startup on the side and trying to get good in NWO and doing this podcast thing on the side. But I was actually thinking about um, once I started asking all you streamer guys on how to get good, and like I was asking especially you and Bowser on like assault positioning. I was thinking like, man, one should do a video series on, and I started like compiling a list of things that I wanted explained so you could like pass it along to people so they could actually watch. So maybe if we have time later, I wanted to go through some things with you in game. But actually, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, which you actually brought up by yourself, which I think is one of the main reasons that people get really salty and why people are bad, is exactly when people lose their situational awareness, when they get tunnel vision, when they when they start to NASCAR, when they don't realize that they're out of position, or when they start chasing a squirrel, or when they one of the worst things I do is when I get tunnel vision, I step out in front of the firing line because I'm peeking and I don't realize people are behind me, and they just crit my back and I get salty because hey, friendly fire, why couldn't you watch out? And I realize, oh, I was the one stepping in front. What's your best like tip to avoid getting tunnel vision like that?
I mean, every single player has those moments when he gets tunnel visioned, right? He does not pay attention to what's going on. But I don't know. I don't think there's really a way to completely just get rid of it. But I think it just comes with time, with like the experience.
Mm.
You will just start to think about it automatically. Like you're shooting this guy. What is going on my right side? What's going behind me? Just gotta look at the mini map. Just see what's the situation. And always keep an eye on like your teammates' positioning, especially when you play assault max.
Yeah.
There's lots of NASCAR, lots of like unnecessary splitting, and you gotta find yourself. Well, first of all, I think for good positioning, you gotta know you positive, like or negative and positive sides of your mech. What is it good at? what are its weaknesses, and when you consider them, you will find yourself a perfect spot to work with. Like there's just a lot of things in the game that you consider, and it all will come up with the time. The more you play this game. This is what I said before. It's good when you are streaming this, you are making a YouTube video for, doesn't matter, for people, for someone else, or for yourself, and you go through it when you're watching, analyzing it, or giving like giving to someone else to like a better player. That's that's a good thing. This is how you learn. Like this situation, why did I go here if I could go here? Because my Mac does this better from that spot than this. I mean, that will just come with with the time, with experience. If you want to get better, you are investing into it. You will get better.
I think there's also like a very valid point in some people say that you learn the most when you teach others. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that could be an exercise for up and coming comp teams.
Well, I could. How do I say it? A big experience for you. You also learning. A lot of people ask me to help them. A lot of people ask me to like have some 1v1s or just a few matches and a quick play with them and explain how to work with this or that. And while I was doing that, or while I was teaching them, explaining them this or that, I could also find some new stuff for myself.
Yeah.
And they also could find, before there's always will be people, doesn't matter like if you're the best, there's always going to be people that you will learn always.
Yeah, for sure. And that, I think that's also a takeaway, I think, for most people, that understand that there's always more to learn, and there's just usually somewhere someone who's better, right?
Exactly.
I think this might be a good place to end the podcast part of this stream. If people want to follow you on social media or Twitch or anything, what's an easy way to do that?
Well, I don't have like Twitter or thing or YouTube. I just have a Twitch channel and my Discord.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Discord is a perfect platform that you can communicate with your viewers, with your subs and such. And don't think you need Twitter or anything else. YouTube, I was considering, but I do not that much time these days to stream and make a YouTube videos. But I really want to like just have time for that, because I would love to make some YouTube videos, like educational stuff or fun stuff, entertaining content. First of all, by seeing how I will just deal with that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who would that I mean, one of the primary reasons I thought about you was like, so I want to get this guy to explain all these things, because I think if for me I have such an interest in hearing what you have to say, I'm probably not alone, and I think I think there is a massive interest in seeing like quirky builds, and also like I said, I have a list of things that like if I considered myself not a potato, that I would actually do these videos and try to explain it myself. But one of the things I also thought about, because I actually have a private Twitch channel that's all set up for MWO streaming. Like I have all the overlays and the art and all this, but there's a part of me that's kind of intimidated about starting streaming, because I see on Reddit, I see in chat, like the community is like, it's most of the community has a very high skill and has a very low tolerance for people who don't understand the full like ramifications of the game yet. And I know that's probably just me being too humble.
No, yeah, this is why like a lot of players in the game, casual players, don't like competitive players, and I think most of it it's kind of like not most of it, like some of that is just a stereotype. Not every single, not every single player, competitive player, is a fucking terrible, like a toxic person. No, a lot of competitive players are to help to people that want to get better. So if the guy doesn't want to get better, he will always respond to like a tips with a negative note, or how do I say that? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, taking any feedback very personally and trying to rationalize that the guy who did the there's someone asking what Proton's Twitch is. Could someone in chat type it? Or maybe you could just spell it out for people so they could find it. Because I constantly retype it and can't remember it because it's PRTN underscore SPZ.
Yes, exactly.
Just I'm gonna type it out in chat. Just a second.
Yeah, I could type it in chat, but I don't see it.
I think
it looks like I can't right now.
No, you can't. PRTN underscore SPZ.
Mm-hmm.
Did I do that right? Chat, tell me if I got that right. Because again, to go back to, I think you would have massive success with a YouTube channel because you're also a very, I mean, you're a good guy. You're a good guy to talk to. You have some interesting points and a very good philosophy and mentality about it. And I think you should make the time because I think it could be a hit.
I mean, I will try. I honestly, I really want to make a YouTube channel. I did had it, but there was only one video, and this video was about like a Black Spikes mercenary unit intro.
Yeah,
which was like my first experience in like making videos, trailers, or how do I say that?
Yeah, I mean the easy way would just to, I mean, when you're streaming, press the record button, and when you like take a note when you say something interesting and just like cut that video or like those few 5 minutes. I've actually started doing that with streamers when Ash, for example, is explaining something. I'll clip it and then Ash explains something. You could do the same and like while you're streaming, create the content as you go. But that's
actually a good point. Yeah, just making a clip and downloading to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Because I noticed that you guys are saying so many worthwhile things in a stream that it's almost a shame that it gets lost because like when you're watching, I usually watch your VODs because I'm not, since I have children, I don't have to have the time to watch them fully. But it's like there's so much good information there and so much good content that like 1, 2, 3 hour stream could become like, I wouldn't say hundreds of videos, but like dozens of good like 1-2 minute clips and some even longer. So I would definitely, if I were you, I would do that because I think
that's the point. That's the good point. It actually made me like think about it.
That's what we're doing.
Not like I wasn't thinking about it before, but just maybe I really need to find just a little bit of time after the stream, for example, to just make a clip and download it to if it's like in a simple way. Of course, if I want to do like a bigger YouTube channel, better if I just like make a, how do I say that? what if I edit the video, or how do I say
Edit it. Yeah.
yeah. English is hard. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we're getting better all the time. Um,
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks a lot for listening and watching along. If you want to get in touch with us, we have a Twitter. It's called _Stimpac. The same for Twitch. We have a Facebook called Stimpac. The same for our YouTube videos. The podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, all kinds of podcast services. But it's called Stimcast. So if you want to watch along there, what's that Psycho Cop says? Please send money and donate to help Proton get English lessons. Psycho Cop, I noticed that you were a troll from the minute that you were allowed in the chat. But anyway,
yeah, Psycho is trying to get me, like, how do I say it? Trying to make me angry.
Yeah,
you're gonna always. You will never troll me to my deepest anger. How do I say that?
Yeah. But right now is usually the part of the podcast or the stream where we play some games. So if you're up for it, let's do a few drops.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just press the be right back button. Boom. I think I'm gonna close the video feed. Turn off camera. Boom. And you can do the same as well if you want to save the bandwidth. And let's... Oh, there's a patch. A hot fix. 8. What did they have to fix now? They fixed faction play. Psycho Cop says. I don't think that was such an easy fix. One thing I'm really thinking about is, like, I feel that MechWarrior has so much potential to be an esports title, but I think the learning curve is too steep to actually get... I mean, if we need to make it work as an esports, we need to get the 12-year-olds in. And I don't think it's that easy to get people into MechWarrior. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it takes skills, it takes thinking to kill an opponent as much as you. I mean, kill as fast as you can. My bad.
Psycho Cop says we need more mech dads to force their 12-year-olds to play BattleTech in MechWarrior. yeah, for sure. Like, I'm one of the things, actually, one of the dilemmas I think is, like, I have a 3-year-old now, and I'm actively thinking about, okay, she's a girl, and I'm thinking about, okay, so if this esports thing is a thing, should one start working it in some way, let her play any game, like start building that skill set in her, or should I just, I have this discussion with my partner, Casper, who's also from the stream, like, should you let it grow organically, or should you not force it, but, nudge it? All right. I need to add a friend. What's your in-game thing?
Let me just type it in.
Or you can just add Acker Gacker.
Yeah, could do that as well.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot. Full friend invite sent. Boom.
just got it.
Awesome. All right. Blah, blah. Create group. Invite.
Hopefully, we could find some matches because group play takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay. So I have like a few questions that I wanted to maybe ask, and if it's like two noob questions, you feel free to not. So I'm thinking a lot about how to make armor sharing work, and if we were to do something like you and me, we could somehow share armor. What mechs would be good to do that? Or you're doing the rifleman. So
I mean, share armor, obviously assault mechs.
Yeah.
That are like Sleipnir, maybe atlases, like double atlas, maybe something that has a lot, you know. And sharing armor, I mean, it depends when you gauging someone. It's just sharing armor. It's gonna be hard because the first guy that pushed is always gonna be focused hard.
Yeah,
It's
for
just
sure.
the matter of situation, the matter of the position you got. Because like in the buildings, it may, like when you're pushing someone in the buildings, it will be easier to switch with your body because you can just like swing left, take cover behind the building, and just like flank the target, while your friend that was behind you will take the lead and receive, and will take the damage that
Oh
was
yeah.
supposed to meant for you. But in the open, uh, in the bug play, that also could work if you just slow down a little bit, let your friend go, or you just swing left and right, you know. But in the comp play, you got to remember that is like if you wear cold, you're the first one, and you wear cold as a primary target. You will be the primary target till the end. So this is, and in that situation, in the brawling, it needs to be like a perfect, not no, that's just a bad word. Uh, it just needs to be a well executed push when like either like a split push or pushing when your assaults just went out, they start shoot, and the next second your faster mechs like mediums take the lead and they rush in and make a chaos in the enemy team. So that will distract a few mechs from focusing the primary target. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just
It's a little bit like armor sharing. It's a little bit different than quick play and competitive.
I just added a marker in the stream. If someone wants to clip that, uh, please feel free to do. Okay, so if we were doing the buddy thing, what would be a good mech for me to buddy with you? I have almost like I started building the like Den Airwalkers tier list, so I have most of the mechs there. So
Well, I mean, first of all, what do you like? What do you like? What are you good? What do you like to play?
I'm probably like the 5 medium laser ECM Flea 20 is probably my highest win rate mech. But I like when I see Yar's list, I'm pretty evenly distributed over.
Well, see, this is the point. Like, I can play. I mean, I'm better with assault mech, but in this situation, I can just make a light mech, take a light mech with you, and we can just like light rush together. And this is what I mean. Oh, like a team cohesion.
Yeah.
In this situation, I can just throw away my uh, preferences to like fill up your need.
Okay,
So we
so
can play lights.
what?
You're better with lights. I could also play lights, so why not we just both do light max?
Okay, so I'll just go the Flea 20 here. And next, let's go a heavy mech. What's your loadout on the rifleman?
Rifleman? Rifle to see that I have. Or I could go like double Gauss to heavy lich.
Oh.
But 6 AC2s will be better, of course. DPS and such. Pew pew.
All right. But if you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna do the dragon. Just do the AC2 thing. Psycho Cop says, "Just be warned, Proton will scream like a girl when he's in a light mech. Don't be startled."
No, I only do that when I play solo, and
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my preference is definitely mechs with a high mobility. And it really shows that I needed to really think a lot about playing assault mechs, because I was stuck under the false impression that assault mech or most assault mechs are like a shield, so they should just rush to the front and be a shield and let other people push. But then I asked like Ash and Bowser to explain it more, and like they said, to the effect like the longer an assault mech is alive, because usually an assault mech is a DPS mech, so the longer they're alive, the longer they can actually fill their role. So you should think about not always going to the front unless you're like a brawling Atlas or something.
Yeah, exactly. You always have time. If you are in the assault mech, doesn't mean you always have to be in front. And like, if you were watching like Bowser, Ash, me, Rhythm, we always were saying that assaults need support every time. They alone, they will not be able to do anything.
No.
You need the support of heavy mechs, or light mechs, medium mechs, you brawling. If you gotta have buddies with you that will push in the same time as your assault mech.
And I think that's I don't know why, but it seems hard to grasp that actually that an assault mech plays more like I wouldn't say like a sniper, but like usually an assault mech is staying more in the back and actually spending more time peeking than you would actually think.
Yeah, because assaults, they have lots of armor, and also they have the highest firepower most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So it means like they could peek, they could share armor better, they stay alive longer.
Any preferences for map?
No, not really. Well, actually, there's Polar Highlands. Anything else but Polar Highlands?
Okay, let's go Hibernal Rift. And I don't really think that they fixed that map too much. I still think it's bright as hell.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like. Honestly, I hate this. Not because of design, but just because they had to remake the Canyon instead of Polar Highlands.
Yeah,
I'm getting really pissed with Polar Highlands lately.
Yeah,
because I want to play Assault Mechs, I want to roll, but I get in a Polar Highlands and I'm useless. That's the waste of my time. There's like no cover I could get.
Yeah,
and if there's a bunch of Lurmers or ATM mechs on the other side, there's no way you could survive in a brawling mech. And that means not just because like I dropped in the Polar Highlands in the brawling mech, a slow assault brawling mech, right? But also that I am useless to my team.
Yeah,
simply useless to my team. Unless there's like people will start to communicate and such and make a great push together, but that's just such a rare thing. And usually people will be afraid to do this in the quick play on Polar Highlands. Oh my god, pushing in the open, but they got lurms.
And this is actually one of the things I noticed, that usually I will take the time to communicate with people here, and but I feel like when I'm in the presence of people that I know that are better than me, I have a tendency to shut the fuck up. Where are you at?
I'm C5 right now.
Yeah, I'm come to your position. Ah! Few of them in Delta 3 now.
got range. I'm just gonna stay in C4. Don't want to get close. There's VDMC, guys. So those guys can shoot and hit you pretty bad.
What's this guy Alpha peeking? So here, for example, like no one is exposing themselves. Should you just wait till something shows up, or?
Yeah, in this situation, like, just wait for them to peek or try and peek yourself. But we are playing group play, so that means there's gonna be people that might be communicating, and they have a plan as well. So I'd rather stay on. If I have range, I'd rather stay in my range and just wait for them to peek. Because in that situation, like, the peekers will always have a disadvantage. Because I'm gonna see them before they're gonna see me. And I already have like an angle on them, right?
So they got the first kill.
We got the first kill too.
Here we go. They got. This is stupid. I'm all by myself. Just gonna peek the high ground here. See if there's anything to hit.
We got a lot of light max. We got a lot of light max, so put it stick together, guys. There's a few of them flanking left side D4.
One of the things I need to get better at also is, man, I really need to get better at torso twisting. There we go. Oh, there's an assault mech behind us. Target Lima. Now target India. Oh. Ah! I'm exposed. Ah! Proton doing the carrying. Ah! Oh, man. Yeah, go ahead, chat. Laugh. Ah, man.
I'm kind of short on ammo, though. I mean,
I'm just gonna
a lot of people hiding.
Spectate you.
Just got a few shots left. Lost my arm because there's a light mag on the left, probably. The Shrike took it off.
Oh, in the middle. Two lights incoming in C4. Behind the space plane. Aircraft. Psycho Cop. Psycho says, I thought Proton was the one who screamed like a little girl. Man, this is harsh. This is really harsh. Yeah, I know that I should really turn off arm lock, but oh man, it's so hard for me to start following the small reticule instead of the big X. I know I should get better at that.
Oh my god, that Thanatos, really?
Ha! Oh my god. Yeah, that's not good. I've actually talked to a lot of people about the arm lock thing, and some people say, well, it's a it's a style, and some people say like you should just get used to not playing with arm lock. What's your opinion there?
I think it's a personal preference, but I mean, just like you can just hold shift when you need it to lock your arms and make an alpha. I mean, you don't have to have an arm lock always on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a personal preference.
Yeah.
Like playing with arm lock, just go, just do it.
Yeah.
I find it just a little bit too kind of. It just makes me. How do I say that? Bounded or
Yeah,
I don't know what's the word.
I think the word is constrained. Like you feel tied up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna go with something that I'm a lot more comfortable with, so I hopefully don't embarrass myself in front of chat again. But I'm making no promises.
Could also do it like that. Hold on, which one? Never played Flea.
It's the like the for me it's the perfect mech, the combination of ECM and mask, like being able to. One of the things I was gonna ask you about is like stutter stepping as well. Like when people are targeting you with lasers or ballistics, that you speed up or slow down just to throw off their aim. No thoughts on that, huh? All right, I get you.
Wait, what? What?
I was talking about stutter stepping.
Oh, never heard that.
Oh, I don't
Like
think
kind of cutting out.
it's a thing in StarCraft, for example, when you move and shoot and move and shoot and move and shoot to maximize your DPS. But here, like when an assault mech or like any other mech is targeting you, like they see your trajectory and try to lead off that. But if you're constantly like reducing your speed and increasing your speed, so they can't really get a beat on you because you're moving like erratically.
I don't think it's really the XLD on the side, especially. It's just so slow. Like it's gonna take a while before you drop the speed, but
Oh yeah, but
it's gonna be enough for an enemy guy to adjust his aim. You know, but for a light mech,
yeah, for
it's
example.
no for a light mech. No, you always have to move. Your thing is you just do like have to do zigzags, like just swing left and right every time. You never have to stop, never.
And that's
Unless you are sneaking up on someone and you're like 100% is gonna hit you in the back. Otherwise, don't stop.
Psycho Cop says you should do Crazy Ivans. I don't know what that is. Is that some kind of in joke or something? Crazy Ivans, evasive maneuvers. Okay, yes, for sure. That's also one of the things that I was completely unaware of, but I actually saw. I think it was Shroud playing. Um, what's it called? Apex Legends. And while he was opening the supply caches, he was like constantly tapping left and right. And I thought, why the hell is he doing that? And I realized, I think I saw Cyclone Jack doing something about fluttering his jump jets, and like always moving the hitboxes is a thing that you should constantly think about. So there's no one who can get a beat on you and hit you where they want.
Yeah, just increasing your chance of your enemy missing. Yeah,
Yeah.
spamming jump jets. Well, especially with this game, jump jet spam because of animation, it would usually cause the hitbox like how do I say them? Um, uh, Not disappear, but you could see you can see a shell, a bullet hit the mech,
Yeah.
but it won't register. That's because like the hitbox is just like flipped or something. I don't know how to explain it. That was like a thing with Highlanders before, was Dragon Slayers and Cataphract. When you could jump, you could see like mech is going up and then just immediately drops down, like teleporting.
Uh-huh. A Psycho Cop says jump jetting is good to spread damage. Like hold it for 1-2 seconds and then release it. Yeah, I mean
Mm-hmm.
I've tried it. I don't really have the hang of it yet, but I keep getting into to the to the point where my reticule starts shaking, and then yeah. So what else? What else? Um, oh yeah, there's something I wanted to ask about. If this could actually be a thing, or if I haven't noticed if it happens in comp play, but like two people peeking, like for example peeking right, one guy starts the peak and the other guy comes out like behind him. Does that make sense? And so they share armor, like exchanging on the same side. Is that a thing?
No, picking from the same. Sometimes some people do that, yes, but mm, I don't think it has any point. I mean, I'd rather have like two guys just having different spots and peaking. It's just a matter of communication. If the one guy receives too many damage, then he just stops doing it for a specific amount of time or just changes position, while the second guy is keeping trades and distracting them. I mean, when the enemy team knows that there's in this spot there's two players, two mechs are trading, I mean they just gotta keep focused fire on that. And just look at this. One guy, an enemy guy, just keeps an eye on that spot, and the two guys always changing each other to peak. That means they are losing the momentum of trading because they have to step out. They have to find the guy again. By find, I mean just put a crosshair on him and shoot him, while the enemy guy already has a crosshair spot and he can just keep firing them. Just make it alpha when they start to peak, and now he just clicks the backwards, like just starts to go backwards and just behind cover before those guys on that spot have a crosshair on him. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I realized that when I think about it, you're actually maximizing the time that you're exposed when you're peeking behind each other. Hmm. That makes sense.
And also sometimes like it just can cause like mech collision. You can just block your friend and just he's gonna receive unnecessary damage.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, tut, 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 tut.
Oh, yeah, light mechs. I think with light mechs, they're fast, they're tiny. It's hard to hit them, and it's really annoying. Like there's hope. There's like a wolfhound picking that spot. He just picked. Uh, you like, maybe you hit him. Maybe it's hurt, and he changed his position. But there's another mech. You just looked away, and another mech peeks and just hits the second alpha into you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be annoying.
I think I asked you about this before, but wouldn't mind you answering it again. Like one of the biggest problems I see when trying to communicate, like if I see a mech peeking somewhere, I want to relay the specific location that he's in, so anyone else, like maybe peeking from the same corner or more or less the same position, knows that okay, there's a wolfhound here, and he will be peaking again probably. He just alpha. He'll be coming up anytime soon. Um, I think your last answer was it's just a question of knowing the map and having a shared like vocabulary for the different spots on the map. But is there anything comp teams do to specifically communicate where the enemy is?
What it is, we were learning the maps and we were giving names for specific spots that are. So you don't have to explain your teammate. Oh, like there's a like wolfhound or like a marauder ER large laser hiding in that like hill that is um, getting over like that platform or whatever. You're just calling them, for example, a pit.
Yeah.
In Tourmaline, there's like two pits, but the middle pit, they were usually where you had like people. because they couldn't trade. But the pit on the right side, I can't remember that spot where usually the Absalon point is on Conquest.
Yeah.
There's a pit like far away at the edge of the map, and there's a ramp that leads to a balcony. The ramp that leads up that also faces towards the balcony in the middle, and we were calling that the pit.
Yeah.
Instead of like it's just a short name. Like there's a marauder in the pit, and that's it. And people would realize, this spot, there's Mac, he's shooting us.
Yeah.
Or like the mining collective, there's like a on the middle, on the both sides, there's like a structure that looks like a balloon. We're just simply calling them boops.
Boops?
That's it. Boops, yes.
Okay. The pro tips. Pro tips, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Oh, right. The same. We seem to be dropping against the same. The same guys. And this always takes me by surprise. Like when I group drop with someone, I feel like I'm doing pretty good in quick play, like averaging like maybe 500-600 damage, and then I go into a group drop and then like dead 10 seconds later with 100 damage done.
Yeah, like with a light mech, you gotta be careful, be sneaky, because you may go behind someone, but he has like a few light mechs covering him, and they're gonna start chasing you.
All right, I'm just gonna follow you and see if I can learn anything from just being behind you.
If you guys see a dragon on the other side, just shoot the arm off. Right arm.
So we're setting up here to just get some information and peek a little, or?
Yeah, just go around, scout, see if we can like maybe catch the leftover max like this marauder, make a few alphas on him.
I'm also always torn about whether to shoot. I see a lot of.
So at least half the team is here in Delta 3, guys.
I see a lot of players actually waiting to shoot. And that is sometimes actually better, because once you draw their attention, you get smacked.
Stomp.
What we can do right now, we can just swing on the right side.
Yeah.
And peek from there, like D3 easy, but be careful, there might be light backs and some few mechs that left.
Coming up on you.
Also another, if you have strikes, your first thing, one of the first things in the light mech, just find an angle that you can like maximize the damage from the strike.
They're too far away from me. Oh.
Oh, there's the echo. There's echo.
Yeah, I'm coming. Ah, he spotted me. Coming up on you 6. I can't get up there. There I am.
Just go behind that hill, E4, and we can shoot them from the back.
Yeah. I'm just gonna peek here just for a second. Don't think anyone has spotted me yet. They're all clumped up there. Let's get this target echo, maybe? Nice. Oh, he spotted me.
Bravo, we can shoot the Bravo. Marauder.
Going to the right side to peek. I think we can hit the Marauder again. Oh.
We're losing people too fast.
Oh my god. We're getting hammered.
There's CT on the King Crab, on the left torso.
Got the torso. They also spotted me. Oh, we got enemies.
Yeah, we're the only ones that are alive.
I want that CT. Ah! NVIDIA overlay. I got legged. Ah! 300 damage, huh? Can I get a few Kappa claps for that? Yeah, before I shoot. I definitely feel more comfortable in a light mech because because my positioning is so bad that in a high level game like this, I will very easily get into a bad position where I can't get out, and then like I'm fucked.
Yeah, speed is a key for a light mech. Escape the critical situation.
All right, but maybe something with a bit more firepower. So the Grinner for me this time. Can you explain to me why boating ER large lasers is such a thing in faction play?
Because maps are huge, and also there's maps like Boreal Vault and such that have a lot of open space and like spots that you can use for trading with ER largers. So that is why.
But why not something like ER PPCs or Gauss rifles or?
Well, ER PPC is the thing for clan mech. IS ER PPCs are they heavy. They produce a lot of heat, so not much using them. ER PPCs for clans, they do have splash damage, so it's basically like a Gauss rifle because it does 15 damage. So you can boat a lot of hits with clan ER PPCs.
Yeah.
On clan mechs, and you can deal with heat.
Which is why the Warhawk is a thing.
Yeah, Warhawk, and Mad Cats, and the other stuff. For IS, ER largers are the thing. Usually, IS have good quirks for range, and they have shorter duration for ER large lasers than clan one.
Yeah.
Less damage, but you can just put more.
And you can shoot 3 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when I watch your stream. I can't imagine the dilemma of trying to choose a mech when having so many to. Like I don't have the possibility to scroll down in my mech, like mech base. I can see all my mechs at any one time in any one category.
Yeah, well, for me, the biggest problem is finding a mech that I want to play.
Yeah.
There's not that many of them left.
Is there any mechs that you, like from lore, really want to see be introduced into the game?
Devastator.
I can't remember.
It's the IS Saltback 100 tons that have 4 medium lasers, 2 Gauss rifles, and 2 PPCs in the stock loadout.
Let me see what it looks like.
Kind of looks like a Atlas or Mauler.
Doesn't look like it has very good, like it has waist level mounts for everything.
Yeah, it's like a Mauler, I would say, hardpoint wise.
But like the miniatures look really cool, but some of the drawings are not that awesome. I recently just got into BattleTech lore, and I realized I don't know which came first. If it was BattleTech or Warhammer 40,000, but like I think it was BattleTech first, and I just think like it seems like Warhammer 40k has borrowed so much from like the whole technological stagnation and the threat from outside and the giant stompy robots and stuff.
Probably. I don't know much about it, honest.
I'm a pretty big Warhammer buff. I don't play it anymore, but like when I can't remember. I started like we got satellite TV very early where I lived. So like when I started, I think 3rd or 4th grade, my English was completely fluent because I just got plopped in front of the TV and I just like sucked up all the language. And one of the things that was very satisfying for me was reading all the army books in Warhammer and like getting all the lore and like all these fantastical creatures and stuff. It sounded kind of like your experience when you stumbled upon BattleTech, and like how the universe was really well built and interesting. Can you explain value trading?
What do you mean?
Like any preferences for maps?
HPG could be Gucci.
Yeah, let's do that. Like value trading, so you're peeking, shooting the other mech, and I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, you need to get the value when you're trading. How do you get value when trading?
I don't really understand what does like value.
I think it's
the value of trading, like.
No, I think it's like you hitting the guy and the guy not hitting you when you both peek from a corner.
I mean, I would say like training is all position you take, the angle. I mean, yeah, it's good when you have when you find a spot that you can use against your opponent with minimizing the income damage. So, what value of trading? I don't really get that word.
I think
the meaning of it.
The meaning I get from it is like, okay, so when you peek and shoot, you should avoid the guy hitting you. But I mean that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, but it makes sense. But this is just the position.
Yeah.
When you're setting up yourself in a position that you want to trade, you find a specific spot that you're gonna maximize your damage output, right? So value of trading, like it for me, it's like just put a price of your trade.
Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna give away like 50 points of armor in this trade. This is what I mean by value of trading, and like what?
Yeah,
that's just maybe it's just my understanding, because I mean, English is not my native language, so I don't understand the specifics of that word maybe, but
I think you got it pretty well. I mean, it's just maximizing the when you peak, like maximizing the damage that you get on the opponent and minimizing the incoming damage. So if you both have to trade armor there, like you wanna deal the most damage and receive the minimum of damage, right?
Yeah. Well, in comp play, yeah, timings, spots, knowing the map is key.
Yeah.
This guy just peeked. He shot me, and he just peeked. He shoot PPCs, for example, and he hit me. That means next peek, I need to hit him as well.
Yeah.
And maybe in the same spot, or like he hit me in the right torso. Like next peek, I need to hit him in the same spot, or I need to hit him in the CT. So we're gonna be even, you know. But if you keep missing and the guy keeps hitting you, that means to stop the trade and change your position and find some angles that he will not expect you to peek from.
All right. So these guys have they have the high ground. How in the heck do we get them down from there?
It's simple. First of all, like you just need to stick together, and then you have a sight on them. They have to peek to be able to see, right? So if you go to the middle, obviously it's gonna be bad for you because they're bunched up there and just gonna see you. As soon as they're gonna see you, they're gonna start shooting.
Yeah.
So instead of it, you need to be patient and wait for them to peek because you're already overwatching that spot.
They're on the corner of Delta 5, guys.
Cicada, left torso open, red structure.
I'm
E5, probably moving to D5.
Yeah. I'll see if I can hit him off. Can't see him though.
Oh, we killed 4 people already.
New target acquired.
They all jumped down. There's a grasshopper.
Target spotted. Probably gonna hit a friendly with a strike.
So can you explain? Because I was kind of tunnel visioning there, and didn't actually see how we actually got the high ground there.
Like, well, we just killed a bunch of them. I mean, you just have to wait for them to peek instead of making yourself pick them. That's simple. Like I explained before, because you're already overwatching that spot. They have to peek and find you first, and then put a crosshair on the target and click to shoot. It's gonna take much more time for them than for you.
See, man, in these types of games, I don't even get going. 183 damage, like. Okay, so next drop, I'm going to try an assault. Let's see. I got some good tips on how to use the Sleipnir. And usually in quick play, I can average like between 600 and 900 damage. And I'm running the quad LBX1. So maybe choose a mech where I can stick close to you and use sort of the same positioning as you. Or
I'll just take the Mad Cat.
So you're doing like dual WAC 5s and dual WAC 10s?
Yeah. I think it's a good combo with LBX. Like LBX is close range, and with as well as the UX, also like if you have that set, if you have the body with LBXs, you could go for some DPS.
Yeah.
So they can like receive a little bit damage or so. Teammate is getting in his range to be able to shoot his LBXs.
So, a completely other question. So, right now you're, it seems like it's pretty likely that you're moving to Russia to work. Have you thought about getting back into competitive play?
I thought about it, but I doubt that is ever going to happen because, first of all, the game is not promising any positive changes in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I don't have as much free time as before.
No.
Because I mean, I had to reduce my stream times. Was usually streaming like 5 hours. Now I usually stream 3.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the only time when I'm playing video games, except like maybe weekends or like 1 hour before I go sleep when I come back after work.
And that's it. It kind of saddens me that I mean, I can't just wish for NWO to be an attractive esports title, but like, if you were in Denmark, for example, and your favorite game was CS:GO or League of Legends or Fortnite or anything, you could actually, if you were at your level in any of these games, you could just say, okay, well, there's a pretty good chance that I could make it as a get picked up by a team or something, and you could actually just dedicate your time and make it happen. And I really wish that it would be more like that for NWO, but that's just my wishful thinking.
Sensors online. Weapons online.
All right. So we should set up where? G7 or something?
Just usual spot, yeah. H6, G7.
H6, G7.
Not set up, but I mean like
Start there. Go there.
Start there, yeah. Can't really set up in a quick way because it's unpredictable at the beginning.
Yeah.
How the enemy will react, how your teammates will react.
Which way will they NASCAR?
Yeah, and in Complay it's different because like you are practicing for like specific situations, right?
Yeah.
If the team is gonna brawl, they're gonna trade. You are setting up different situations and you looking away how to react to it, so you minimize the surprise.
Apparently, we're like super over tonnage.
One thing I asked Ash about his preparations for MechCon, and he had some very interesting dietary points on how he prepped for competition and what he ate and drank at competition. But one thing that I noticed that I think he said that you guys didn't scrim, which was very interesting to hear because all the CS:GO players and Dota players and League of Legends players, they put a lot of emphasis on scrimming with other high-level teams.
I mean, I wasn't participating in a tournament, and I'm in the new EMP team. They did some scrims probably. In previous tournaments that I was participating in EMP, we did screams, but we were mostly doing in-houses.
Yeah.
So in-houses, screams are good, but in-houses it's better.
There's Phoenix Hawks behind us in Hotel 7. Sorry.
Yeah, we had a really good players in our team, so we could just do in-houses between each other.
Yeah.
Well, you got the other half of your group coming up into Hotel 7 right now.
That map.
So
learn the
there's Phoenix Hawks there. Let's just push into them and like nuke them.
Yeah. So right now, most of our team is just focusing that Bravo guy. Seems like. Let's open CT. I am not in the fight yet. So here, should one move to the bottom and to the right or to the left?
Right now, just you could see enemy right side. They're not nescering. So you can kind of make a trades on the right side with them. But you could also go to the left and make a trades there, but keep in mind, if they start escort, you're gonna be melted.
Target Alpha.
Push up, guys. We outweigh them.
Okay, now they're switching to the left side, so we can push the right side.
Yeah.
Finish the rest.
Going right.
Foxtrot dies now.
Just like, you know,
Oh, sorry.
Avoiding the enemy angle. Avoiding the enemy players from the left side that are pushing. But you're not neskering like we're doing it right now. Like, you should not do that. Because the enemy team is going to start doing the same thing as we did to their players. Because they split up, we killed the tail. The next that left behind. Now they do the same.
Target hotel.
So just finish them. You stick a G8 in this situation. You wait for them to peek. Because they will not be able to support you. They will have to shoot like mostly fresh mags again.
The piranha. Oi! Oh, I'm gonna get him. Ah, that little bastard is fast. Tiger Lima. Open CT. Ah! Missed. GG, guys. They don't scrim outside of the group because they don't want to give away their super secret strats. Yeah, Psycho Cop.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Usually we were doing screams against the other teams just to get used to playing with different people, against different people, you know?
Yeah. I managed 500 damage in this game. That's a bit more satisfying. Feel like I contribute more. What next? So maybe 1 or 2 more games, and then I don't know what time it is for you, but maybe end the stream.
I mean, it's 1 a.m. for me. This is when I usually stop streaming, but it's up to you. Another hour.
Let's just do 1 or 2 more games. Okay. So what are you going for this game? The Mad Cat again?
Yeah, I'll stick with the Mad Cat.
Yeah, what the hell? Let's do 2 of those. One of your group members, beautiful, triggered the automated penalty system, either for leaving the match prematurely or wrapping too much team damage.
That happens sometimes.
I saw that clip of you completely misunderstanding the enemy mech behind the Annihilator, so you thought the Annihilator was the enemy, and you just kept hammering him till he died, and then
that happens sometimes. I mean, that happens. I do have 4 eyes, you know. Yeah. I mean, glasses, and sometimes red and blue becomes one.
Yeah. Oh man. Always walk behind Proton, never in front of him. Yeah. It's actually funny seeing like people speak English in our chat because usually it's all Danish. And we're actually like at a kind of a crossroad with our podcast right now because like we're getting a few more international guests in the near future, and we're thinking about maybe switching it to all English, but we're like, okay, so this started off as a Danish podcast, and is it, are we gonna alienate our Danish fan base by going all English? But it would be really nice to reach out to a bigger audience, and yeah, I think we're at kind of the same place as you are with your YouTube channels. Like, which direction should we go?
I think just do what you do.
Yeah.
I do like podcasts.
What is some of the worst advice that that streamers give out that comp players like frown upon?
Oh, worst advice. The worst advices from people, from streamers especially.
One thing I hear constantly Ash talk about, for example, is that assaults assaults should be in the front. Like and yeah.
Yes and no. It's all situational.
Yeah.
Assaults they should be in front, but mediums or like any other mechs that are lighter than assaults needs to support them.
Yeah.
Assaults are not your shields most of the time. They do have armor, but you got to realize as well that they have a huge firepower. That means they can vaporize an enemy mech in a second. But if they're getting focused by long range mechs, by like just lots of DPS, what's the point of their armor if they're just melting and you're not supporting them?
Yeah, for sure. Then let me ask you, what's the best way to support an assault?
The best way to support an assault?
Yeah.
Just do what it does. Push with it, help it, make him avoid some damage. Make him survive as long as you can.
Draw the enemy fire and stuff.
Yes, exactly. As long as Assault Max lives, the better for you.
Yeah.
You lose an Assault Max, especially in the beginning, that's the downside. Because you lost a lot of armor, you lost a lot of firepower, and it means that the enemy mechs obviously have less mechs to shoot and less ammo to spend to kill all of you, right? And less heat to waste to kill you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and guys, the notification thing, I haven't really set it up well, so I don't really hear the sound. But I just want to give a big shout out to s02e13, Miss Entry, Psycho Cop, and Snacks Bar Party Time for following the channel. You guys are awesome, and thanks for bringing us closer to the big 50 so we can get VIP status for chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Psycho makes a good point. Make sure the assault is every time. I mean, the main enemy pack. Make sure its faces towards like the biggest threat in enemy mech, which is like assault mechs as well.
Yeah.
If you're seeing a light mech, or if you're seeing a assault chase light mech, and you supporting your assault mech in chasing it, then you're doing it wrong.
Sentinel XK, thanks for following.
The thing you should do is pushing. You need to help him do the damage and also get the lights off the assault mech.
Yeah. Oh man, there's nothing worse when you're in an annihilator and you're a bit behind the other guys, and a piranha underruns you, and you're like, okay, I can't even see him, and he's just hammering my back. The light mechs will always try to flank in the back. It's your job as a medium to fend off those lights. Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, like, for brawling, like I was saying before, when you push the mediums, the first second, yes, the assaults should be in the front, the first few seconds. But then the mediums need to go further, go in front, just ram inside the enemy group and distract them. So your assaults will stay alive longer. So the enemy mechs, it will be harder for them to stay assault mechs.
Yeah. I'm thinking about how...
Because they would have to choose. And that's going to be like a really short time to make a decision. Either just keep shooting the assault mech, or stop shooting it and deal with the medium mechs and light mechs that rushed in. And you also have to... So they're mediums and light mechs. They are inside our group. And their assault mechs are keep shooting us. Then we need to step back. We need to take cover. We need to isolate ourselves from assault mechs and kill the medium mechs or disarm them as fast as we can.
Yeah. Psycho Cop, I see what you did there. I'm thinking a lot about like I think my best quality right now as a MWO player is my ability to create some kind of team cohesion and communication in quick play. But I'm thinking a lot about, because like what I usually do is just when I see a weak target, I call it out and get people to focus it. And that's really good. I'm thinking about, man, it would be so awesome if one could like communicate to a pug to make that maneuver. Like assaults push in and then get the mediums and lights to follow up to make like a maneuver like that.
What I found is for quick play, it's hard to split up people.
Yeah.
Lights do the lights job, mediums. It's usually just like make a death ball and push in, but you also have to do it right. You can't just call push constantly. Like you're calling a main move. Like let's just like rush the mechs in E4, and while you do that, you could say like there's one mech that is way back there is like doing some sniping on us, and he's getting ignored. Somebody needs to take care of it.
Yeah,
and you just usually people respond to that, and light mechs just do their job. But from the start, like, hey, light mechs, when we do this, you should do this. You should do this when we do this. I tried that before, and I could say it never worked as I would think it would. Just group up people, just make a main calls, and if you need, like, just call out the mechs that are a threat to you right now. Just that can split up your push, and just pick your mechs one by one, or
I think one issue that I see from a communication standpoint that people do wrong is that usually they're telling what people shouldn't be doing, like don't NASCAR, and people keep NASCARing instead of saying let's stay in E4 and hit the people when they come up the ramp, for example, or something.
Yeah.
It seems like people respond much better to what they should do instead of what they shouldn't. Ah! Ah! The gauze.
Yeah, be careful. There's a teammate right there. 2 Fapners. One is MRMs. Another one is Heavy Gauss.
Target Bravo.
Yeah, we should focus on the Bravo. Hey, just isolate yourself from the right side. Keep an eye on. Use your strikes if you have them.
It's
This is why I said on this map you always have to.
target Juliet. Juliet. Now India. So the NASCARing around from the low ground.
Okay, now they split up, like left and right side. You can start like pushing right side.
Yeah.
Just don't drop from the middle. Just peek from.
New target acquired.
Right behind you. Ah, you're getting all the kills.
Target acquired.
Fafnir is open left torso.
New target acquired.
Oh no, I'm an assault mech chasing a light.
That's fine. Right now it's fine. I mean that's the only backstab left, so why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean at the early games at the beginning, that's the bad thing. Just dragging you away from the main fight. Your armor and your firepower.
Got him.
Killing a light for you, if you could, will not mean anything for your team if they are losing their trades, losing their battle against the main forces of enemy team.
Let's see how we did. Ah, 500 damage again. Kind of okay with that. All right, one more. One thing we were actually talking about is we're really big on one of the biggest performance maximizers there is to get enough sleep. I think esports players and gamers in general underestimate how important sleep is. I was just thinking about myself being a little bit tired, but then we won the game and I was like, yeah, now I'm wide awake, and let's play more. And I think people have a tendency to ignore actually getting to sleep on time, and how, like my co-host Casper has, like, it's his shtick and like thing that people need to get enough sleep, because if you're getting like less than 5 hours, it doesn't take that much to impact your performance, almost to the point that you're legally drunk. So yeah, sleep is a big. What's your sleep schedule look like?
It's kind of fucked up.
Well, at least that was an honest answer.
I have issues with the sleep time, but it started long time.
Yeah.
I usually sleep for like 4 hours, 5 hours. That's it. I would just randomly wake up, and I would never fall asleep until the midnight.
Man, that's. Have you tried working with it? Because there's a lot of things you can actually do to.
I did.
Yeah.
It's just it just gives you a temporarily. Then it just all comes back to it. I don't know what it is. It's just how it is for me. I clearly remember my grandfather having the same issue.
I mean, there is a small percentage that genetically need less sleep, and just they don't need it. But that's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
Any map preferences?
Anything but Polar.
Polar Highlands it is. Let's go River City. Oh yeah, I should have spent a lot of time asking you to explain the good spots on the different maps and where to like I was saying, like where to set up and good places to peek for the different mechs we're playing, and but yeah.
Yeah, the good spots may vary. How do I say it? Pilot, right? Depending on the mech you take.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's some general spots that are really good for any kind of mechs.
What does Psycho Cop? What's that you wrote? Proton always uses those double entry dangerous.
He means like saying stuff that can be interpreted in two ways.
Yeah, okay.
Ram inside the enemy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dual meanings. For you. All right. Oh, holy hell, that was fast. Innuendos. Okay. Yeah. Man, this is gonna give a whole new meaning once we guys meet in chat on Bowser's stream and Ash's stream and something. I feel like I know a lot of you guys a lot better. All right, so where are we going on this map? G7?
G7, yeah. Just a regular spot. G7, F7. I don't really like rotate to like through E7, E6 to E5 on this side, because you have to go in the open, and sometimes there's like light mechs already covering it, or assault mechs as and if you get to see you first, the whole enemy team just going to turn around and just go there while your team will be still sitting at G7. You will have no cover.
And to the people listening in, just a random thought to the people listening in chat, like it's one of my first English streams, so I hope people are getting value out of it. Mostly I did the stream just for pure personal satisfaction, because I wanted to learn and get better at NWO.
2 max pushing over H6.
But like, if you guys in chat have any questions, please feel free to answer them. I'll relay them to Proton. Psycho Cop says, "Don't worry, your English is way better than Proton's." Man,
you gonna say that?
Sick burn, man. You were just on it. There's this guy peeking on the one boob. Nice. Yeah, they're all in the corner of G6. Fafnir coming in, target hotel. Hotel.
There's a Rape Regal on top, be careful, ATMs, Juliet.
I'm completely caught out now. Like, are we completely out of position here? Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah. You need to move.
And which way should I move?
Actually, no. You towards right side. Just rotate. And you can just cut it off.
Let's go get that Fafnir.
Yeah, go get
Or
Target Hotel,
actually-
please.
Can I get more information on the Fafnir?
He's opened both torsos.
Got him.
I see him. Heavy. Oh, Lyco.
I got the Vapor Eagle. Oh, sorry. Sorry for the team kill. I slammed the guy in the back.
I ate 3 Goths right there. Fuck, that sucked.
Alright, next up, India.
Open right torso.
Right torso.
He's shut down. Hey, I got him.
Alright, one left. Where is it?
Maybe a location on this last one?
Maybe a disco. Oh, Foxtrot
Got
7.
him.
No, I found. It's a Proton. Take out his legs.
Like that?
GG, guys.
Or CT. Good game, guys.
300 damage. 1 team kill. Oh my god, I feel so bad about hammering that guy with LBXs in the back. Please, no one clip that.
That happens.
Let's see if I can hit the right button here on the stream deck. Yeah, there we go. We actually have a chat box now. So, Proton, thanks. I mean, for me, it was like a very good experience personally to have you. I hope you enjoyed being on the podcast as well, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you're up for it, maybe coming back at some point, if it makes sense. And to all the guys listening and watching, thank you guys for chatting, participating, following. I really appreciate it. I will be back on the next English-speaking stream. Will be on it's either the 18th or the 28th, where I have Bowser on. So I'll be posting it on Outreach and Twitter and all kinds of stuff, so you guys can follow. But thank you guys for lurking, following, chatting, and I really appreciate it. And I wish you all a good night and a good game. See you guys soon.